Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dice Age. I'm your host, Justin Hayward. With me today are the three players of Ashley, Clara, and Ken. This is going to be episode 21 of the podcast. As you may have heard in the last episode, I kind of messed up on the timing, so I'm trying to keep it straight this time and moving forward because my cast members are great about keeping numbers. As every week, we're going to go ahead and start off with a quick recap, discussing what happened in the previous episode, before we dive into this week's episode. On that note, would anyone else like to do the last time and a little bit about the summary of what happened in the previous episode? I'm asking the cast. If not, I will do it.
I'll do it.
All right. It's on you.
All right. So last time we all prepped the camp after sending back Charlie and Garfield and Sylvia, yes, I remembered. I haven't spoken to her yet, so it's not engraved in my memory. We fortified the camp, made a bunch of funny doors that I didn't crit fail on, and everyone else did other stuff too, like hurting animals and making funny boiling traps. We had our NPCs go back to the village that we originally came from, say, oh no, bad stuff, and they sent everybody, which in hindsight was not a good choice, and maybe have jumped the gun a little on that one. But ain't that just the way? So we got back and prepared to go across with my new favorite name, Debin, who I remember immediately. And Devin's going to go across with us. We meet one Treebeard who goes, yeah, you can come in. I won't eat you, maybe. And we go and find the penguins, which are actually just illusions.
And that is where we're going to start tonight's episode of Dice Age. Flying over the top, you see a bunch of these ice structures that look like there's images on the front half, and there's nothing from the top. They just look like clear blocks of ice. Behind that, maybe half mile, you see a large... do an animal handling check for me. Oh, animal handling.
Oh, no. 8.
You see what you would imagine to be some sort of large creature that you've never probably ever seen in your life off in the distance. It has a large trunk, and it has a bunch of fur as it stands nearly 25 feet tall with a bunch of small penguin forces on its back. It also looks like it had a long sort of sled, essentially, that was full of ice blocks.
Okay.
This is a lot of effort.
How do little penguins bring giant ice blocks?
I don't know, with their hands?
Nope, they got slaves for that.
So there are actual penguins on?
You imagine that there looks to be actual penguins riding this thing.
It's moving?
It is currently moving.
Where is it moving?
Away, back towards the City of Ice.
Okay. Do I see anything else of importance?
No.
Or inimportant?
You do not. But what the audience sees is a second attack occurring on the southern borders of the gate, as the main forces have moved in to attack the allied forces of the group here, as Thorkey prepares his men to fight, unaware that this attack would occur. And it seems that a barrage of penguins suddenly swarm their gate, and they sort of stack themselves on top of each other.
Oh, that's World War Z.
and they just continue to push at the gate as they're climbing up higher and higher and higher and start pecking at the guards and pulling them off. As a literal swarm of penguins are just thrown at this wall.
We need to get back. We don't know.
But back on your guys' front, with the majority of your forces behind the gate, your group is ready to defend against whatever attack is coming.
So then I'm going to come back to my body and Soul's going to fly back.
Like cradling you.
So what do you tell the party that you saw?
Welcome.
So they're illusions. And the one thing that wasn't an illusion is leaving.
Well, is it already far enough off? I know we're a little bit out, so it's going back.
Yeah, it's going back to their home.
Well, if that's it, I mean, it looks like we not only did well in this front, when the boys and other people get here, maybe we can do a foray in there, do a sally forth, if you will. So, it looks like we got them on the run.
So the attack is happening. The settlement? Or back by the bridge?
So you guys are near the settlement?
Yeah.
So it's going to be back at the other bridge.
Oh, down there. Okay. Oh, no.
So would I understand that this is probably an issue? That something is going on that's not good? Or would I be like, oh, yeah, let's go back and do...
I mean, how much experience do you have with secondary attacks occurring?
I'm from a little village that got destroyed, so I don't
Exactly.
know.
Your character would probably not have that tactical understanding.
But vibes are off.
But vibes are off.
Vibes are off.
Yeah. I mean,
vibes
you can
are off.
probably report back and be like, well, we didn't find anyone.
And as you are discussing what you saw to your allies, Devin grabs the conch and goes, "It's a surprise attack. They're attacking from the south. They're attacking from the south. Prepare for..." And he's like, words coming through his Thorky's voice goes, "It was an ambush. They attacked us. Most of my men are gone. Please help before they completely take over." And he looks at you guys and goes, and that's where we cut away
Wait.
as he says a duck word as you guys are running back
Frick.
towards the front where you see a bunch of forces are literally rushing south. What do you guys want to do?
Are the trains full? I'm assuming the trains are going back, like, full speed.
They're pushing towards the south. So remember, the trains don't go out this way. So
They only go
Oh,
here.
so
we're
we're-
up here.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
we have to take dogs down here and then get to trains.
So
If-
all
Oh, so they're... Okay, I was thinking they were,
So-
like, attacking over
so literally
no, that's too far.
so literally all of the dog sleds have just been taken and they're all rushing back on dog sleds to get back to the southern force because now you're all away from the train system.
Okay.
How many wolves can you summon?
I can summon 3. And then I can ride Tara.
Or you can just turn yourself into a wolf and run.
That too. But how long is it going to take us to get there?
So it took you guys about an hour to get there.
So it's going to only last for an hour before they go disappear.
Well,
Is that
then-
going to be enough time?
It'd be barely enough time. You'd have to run.
What are... No, I'll just change into a wolf and then have one of them ride Tara and one of them ride me.
Okay. All right. So as
That's fine. I don't have very many of those
I'm
spells.
small, so whichever one works better.
probably going to be her because
Okay.
Tara's because of his armor. Tara would be better for that. So as you guys rush towards the southern settlement where the train station was, you see that each of the trains have been exploded,
Oh no.
and it looks like the entire wall has been encaved by some sort of large creature.
It was Appa.
It was a mammoth.
Oh.
I demand to fight this mammoth.
As as a second mammoth had ran through this gate. They describe this creature, since none of them have ever seen one before, is a giant sort of, I don't know, how would you describe it? A mammoth to someone?
a giant wall of fur and force came through the wall and gored a dude. So
That's
also it's got a weird hand coming out of its snout.
That's probably as close to as what you would describe it. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, it's just a giant wall of fur busted through the southern wall, and then their forces literally just started dropping bombs onto the trains to destroy them.
So now we have no trains.
Correction. We have a train that goes one way and only one mission once we get on it. So that's a later us problem. Not one of our finest hours, but hey, can't win everyone. So we need to get people together, form a defensive force, and shore up. Because if we keep our men here, they'll die. So we need a place we can get them
Is
to
there still
target
fighting
them.
going on?
No, so
Boo.
Jaime arrived before you guys, obviously, and took out any of the leftover people who were left. Basically, they just came in, destroyed these trains. The majority of their forces left.
Coward.
They achieved their mission.
Coward.
How else do you win?
Coward.
Yeah.
It's rude.
So Jaime goes, all right, new plan. These motherfuckers came into our home.
Wait.
These McGuys came into our home, destroyed our stuff, and decided that they could infiltrate and just devastate our entire trade route. That is not something I'm willing to do without some sort of countermeasure. However, there is a bunch of people who are like sick and dying. We can't fight them today. And so he and the rest of the forces retreat back towards the headquarters to regroup and establish their next plan. And this is by dogs at this point because the trains are now completely gone. Amongst the dead compatriots that you guys would know for our character names, Lyra on the train was in fact killed. Thorky somehow managed to live while all the rest of his men died.
Why is that the one that you let live?
We're best friends.
But Laura, the healer, also seemed to somehow live. So,
Good choice. That's the Asmar lady, right?
yes.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So, yeah, so it's huge devastation to your guys' group.
Well, now what?
Well, same as everything else. We pick up, we don't lose next time. So, I'm going to go drag bodies out and either bury very shallow graves or help people get back on their feet. I'd recommend going out and helping where you can. They get us once, shame on us. Get us twice, mostly shame on us again. So, I've got a few ideas, but I've only been on battlefields in the healing capacity, so I need a smart man, just a man who's seen things. So I recommend we talk to the council here, or whoever's going to talk about the next plans. But first, again, you're going to carry some bodies.
So, as you guys manage to maneuver your way back, crossing the first bridge and then the second, you guys make your way into the fish folk village where the Sahugans live. And this is where you're essentially like your forward operating facility is now being held as a stronghold. Sharkules and the other members of the... Yes, his name is Sharkules.
Show the mini for him. His mini is so awesome.
Yes, he is.
Oh, I love him.
It's very good.
So Sharkules is currently bench pressing like two giant solid like blocks of ice, and he's just crushing it in the back of his Lambo. And he's just got a bunch of lady Sahugans with him. He is very much exactly what you would expect.
Destroy him.
Indeed. So the Sahugans go, well, it would seem that you are now without your trade routes. As he sort of speaks to Jaime, and Jaime goes, I know, listen. They destroyed all of our trains, but we can build more. We can build better routes. and we can continue to do the trade that we discussed, even if it means that I have to send dogs back and forth for you to be able to continue to collect your supplies. What I ask is that you join forces with us to defeat these penguins. And the Sahugans go, so a joint effort will it be? Do you have any other allies? And you would know that the polar bear people have also been in contact with your guys' group, because this is all stuff that happened in season 1 for the two of you, where a representative from the polar bear tribe basically arrives to speak on behalf of their people. If we're going to attack this force, we're going to need to come together as a people to defeat them. And with that, we will move towards the council to create a plan. And of course, our front-end soldiers who have been exploring and have known this area, which would be you and now your team, who know the area ahead, will also be asked to give your inputs in this council meeting. So, on that note, you guys will spend several days basically collecting, rebuilding, re-strategizing, building back up the walls that you guys had already built. It's going to take weeks before these trains ever get built, because they have to ship all the parts down from the Sword Coast. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. But you guys are able to head back to your caribou camp and get ready for your guys' next mission. So currently you guys have just arrived at caribou camp. You know that the council meeting will be happening in 2 days from now. You guys were given a kind of like sad version of R&R, remorse period, as they're going to describe it. But it is in fact R&R. So you guys are given 2 days of R&R. Now, for the two of you, R&R is going to work like this in this game.
It's time.
Yes, but I have to... Salem, go to your room. Salem, go to your room.
Commercial break.
Go to your room.
A word from our sponsors.
Hey, are you guys tired of your cat trying to eat all of your sister's food?
The fact that she was so quick to respond, too, needs to go to your room.
Yeah, it's just,
She's
she'll
very
be all the
vocal.
way down in the basement, and she will sprint up here. We did have it so hers went off first, so that she would just go after her food, but...
Not this time.
Like, now she knows, because she's like, oh, okay, well, my food time's coming. I guess so. But she'll try to sneak over there.
Yeah.
And Bagheera's
I
not
believe
food
it.
motivated at all, so she won't eat it right away. But she's not up in there, is she?
She is.
Oh, is she? Mm-hmm. Oh.
All right. So over the next 2 days, you guys are going to be offered R&R. How R&R is going to essentially work for this campaign is essentially there's any of your skills that you guys currently have, you can develop those skills by using 3 R&R days in one particular skill to then add a 1+ bonus to that area.
Okay.
So that's kind of like to help you if you have things that you know your character's really bad at but you want to get good at, you can spend that time doing it. Or improving things that you're already good at.
Usually we have 2 days, so yeah, I'll invest 2 days into improving my medicine check.
Okay, so on a third day, you will get a 1 point. Now, you can only go into each skill once. So once you use 3 days on one skill, that is the limit for that specific skill, and then you can move down the list. So.
I'm going to use mine to research, like, military tactics.
And I'm also going to give myself Blessing the Forge as well.
It would be history.
Okay. Well, what is my history?
Okay,
Can I invest 2 days into a survival?
you sure can.
Doing like laps and stuff.
Yeah, so as you guys sort of spend your morning days, as it were, I really hate these allergies. They're killing me. I've been dying. That's why my voice sucks. But I will do my best. All right, so as you guys make it back to the Beeloo, investing time into your various skills. A knock comes on the door after day 2, basically saying the council is ready to meet. How would you guys like to proceed? Would you guys like to be a part of this, or you've been formally invited, essentially?
You really go up in this place quick. Survive 1 or 2 battles. You're already hearing the room where it happens, as it were. Kind of like this gig.
It's interesting. Like, her usual bounciness has been devastated. So, coming across yet one more destroyed village, being helpless to stop it. Love it.
But remember, the fires that are burning over there are the fires we're going to see return to them. So, it'll be tit for tat. It always is. If history's taught us anything, people keep dying. We're just on the side that pays most.
Indeed. So, as you guys make your way, so I take it you guys are going to go to the council meeting then?
Yeah, I want to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a bunch of the bigwigs essentially are all there. So you have the 5 council members: Grover, Marshall, Jaime, Lichen, and Caspian. You also would have, Jaime's right-hand man, Debin is also there. You see the Sahugan elder is also there. And the leader of the polar bear people is also there. The polar bear people are essentially humanoid creatures who have polar bear fur. They are not actual polar bears. They are just, which is weird here because everything else is actually the creature.
Yeah.
So that was my throw off for them as a group. But as you guys are as they're all sitting there discussing, the 3 of you walk in and they go, it seems our 3 heroines have arrived. So, tell us what you know about this city of ice.
Oh, I'm the only one that's been there, right?
Which is why you were invited.
Oh, okay.
They're looking to strategize the ins and outs. What does it look like?
Okay.
So what does it look like?
Do I actually have to say it, or can I just say, because I don't remember everything.
Do a history roll for me.
Because I know that there were moose people. That's a 2. I'm trying to decide if it's cocked or not.
High or low?
Low.
Okay. You give a halfway representation of the information that occurred.
Okay.
So basically what you would say is the city of ice is governed by an emperor penguin. Amongst his people, there is a variety of penguins who sort of stand guard outside of his home, his actual throne room. Mm-hmm. Pictures of clearly just himself, a long lineage of pictures, family history, but it's just pictures of him in different silly poses. You also would remember the octopus who was missing his arm.
No, I forgot about him, though.
Yes, you would remember him because he was making deals with you guys, and he was the deal that if you guys worked together to kill the polar bear people, essentially that would be how it worked. And then amongst the city's residents were the moose people and the walrus people. Those are the major residents. The moose people were considered fighters. The walrus people were considered builders.
What about were the orcas? Orcas weren't there.
No.
Okay.
No, orcas were another group of people that he wanted you to take care of. The emperor penguin.
Gotcha.
You have not met the orca people.
Okay.
So, you sort of elaborate that to the council, and they go, interesting. So it seems to be heavily fortified, based off of what you accounted for, large walls of ice. Well, luckily ice can be burned. So, he looks towards Jaime. I understand that you could bring in flamethrowers, could you not? He goes, indeed, I could bring the fire. That's why we were called the Fire Fists, after all. So, from strategy, based off of everything that you've told us, what do you 3 recommend for actions moving forward to attacking this city?
Wouldn't attack it from the front.
Well, where is it situated? It's not a natural plain, I assume. Built in a mountainside, somewhere close by. What are the natural fortifications?
The natural fortifications are that it's literally out in the middle of nowhere. So there is nothing. So they can see you way before you could see them.
So it is a natural plane.
So it's just stacks of ice in the middle of a glacier, essentially.
Well, that makes it easier for us. We can sight with siege weapons and hit them all day and all night.
You would also remember from your travels that you traveled across a natural flowing river that happens to be just on the other side of the forest, of the summer forest. And then after that, it was literally just open area until you reached it.
How close was that mountain?
How close was the mountain?
Because we went there right after the city.
Yes, the mountains, the Howling Mountains, as you described them, were roughly like half a day's ride towards.
The one with the dragon, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, so you'd have the forest and you'd have the river that would basically be impeding you. But the main thing that's impeding you guys is the fact they destroyed your guys' bridges. Mm-hmm. And they destroyed your guys' transportation to the second island. And they're inland, so you're not going to be able to just use coastal vehicles to
Yeah.
Well, that said, if we're looking to do this the easiest way, we have to assume that most of the supplies coming to this, their locale are from farther back near these sleepy mountains, it looks like, in other locations, but we have to make sure that they can't keep dinging around on the ocean. So if we send in boats to block off both ways to the natural riverways, there's no way they're getting water traffic anywhere near this, so we control the waterways. Set up siege weapons over here, because we have a clear sight across the plain, so we can nail them for all we need. And if this isn't natural flows of ice, we use sappers to go under the walls, melt and destroy them, and get in, and find people within there to cause discourse at the same time. Because I assume not many people like having an emperor penguin, so we talk to them, to say if they start to make a revolt, we'll meet them, relieve the forces, help them out. Those would be my staged plans. The sapper part's the easy part. All we need, but this is ice flows. We just find people who can swim underwater, drill up, easy as that.
And the polar bear camp's close too, right?
The polar bear camp is south.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's another force. If we have people down here and they start pressuring over here, we can use the very tactics they use against us. Set most of our siege weapons down by the polar bears to defend it, make them think of larger forces coming over here, block off waterways, siege, sapper, under, in.
Based off of your plan, a large force wouldn't be able to infiltrate underwater then. We would need a small force in order to do that, to infiltrate into...
Open the gates.
And that's why we want you here.
I think that's easy enough. Now, you're confirming my suspicion. This is on an ice flow, so there's water underneath this. It's not solid ground.
That is correct. The Sahugans are able to confirm that as they've traveled from this plane multiple times, as they've traveled from the third island to the second island to the first island.
And now, does anybody have a water shaper meld through water here, or are we talking about they have drills they've made for things like this? I assume if they've lived here before, they have to have sappers who've used kind of ice drills for these kind of flows.
The Sahugan people don't have access to spills like that, to materials of that nature. They've mostly just relied on their natural affinity for climbing, scraping, and basically very primitive tools.
But I assume these primitive tools are good at what they do. So if they can cut through there, absolutely, give us the right resistances and breathe underwater, we can help them out, no problem.
The only issue that we run into is that it would take days to do it that way.
That's fine. If we're doing sieges take months.
Caspian, the sort of gnomish elder, goes, well, I do have an idea. All right, we're going to have to let Salem out.
She's got opinions in the meeting.
Yeah, Salem, what are your thoughts? Was Ken's siege weapon idea not good enough for you?
I'll always take any insights.
All right, I'm going to put Bagheera's food away.
Yeah, she's not eating it anyway. At least she's not slamming on the door.
It's because she knows that she's
Good cop, bad cop.
Huh?
What?
What are you saying?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Talking smack.
Always.
Rude. All right. So, the gnomes go, we've never designed anything like that before, but I imagine with enough time, the Dwarfish engineers, and he points at his gnomish children, And my boys here, they could probably whip something up that we could use to drill underneath the ice. That wouldn't basically freeze upon contact. Yes.
So these penguins, have they ever, like, sent a letter saying, like, demands or anything, or are they just attacking?
From our understanding of these penguins, their way of communicating is through violence.
Huh.
Though I do believe you had communicated with them, right? In a non-violent manner?
You could say that.
What exactly did he ask for? For peace terms.
He asked us to destroy the orca people and the polar bear people.
Yes, you destroy one or the other, essentially.
Oh, okay. Well, bad.
And so then they look at the polar bear leader who's like, yeah, that's not going to fucking happen. That's not going to happen.
Wait.
Yeah. I gotta say, it's
Well,
hard.
because if we have someone, as it's of this big old flat area here, we could have siege things going on over here as like threats, and then maybe have some representatives pretend to go in and be like, "Oh, let's have a talk," and then their guard party with them is actually a super secret fight team on the inside, and then we just fight our way out. Because if we get rid of the Emperor Penguin, then they don't have leadership. Unless the eye patch one's there.
So, you are both correct and incorrect, unfortunately. The Emperor Penguin doesn't fight as just, he is the overlord, right? The god of his people. But he does have 4 generals. One of them, it sounds like you ran into, the one who created this elaborate scheme of counter operations as well as a forward attack on the south, even allowing a disguised version of himself to be in the north, i.e., he literally slashed one of the penguin's eyes out and made him pretend to be him. So he's pretty ruthless.
Well, if we take out all of them, then?
That was the strategy we were discussing before you arrived, was taking out his 4 leaders and, of course, himself. But they don't stay together, so we'd have multiple conflicts.
Well, the other party in that was the orca people. Has anybody reached out to them or anything?
The polar bear announcer basically goes, as I told you before, the orca people aren't reasonable. They're not people I would necessarily go out of my way to communicate with on a daily basis.
I mean, are they evil?
Define evil.
Like, are they, if I go up to the, like, would it be worth getting rid of them? Because the Emperor Penguin said one or the other, and obviously we're not going to get rid of you guys. But if they're bad enough that they're going to cause a problem for us anyway, and if we did that, that could kind of smooth things over.
Well, why are we trying to placate this man? This penguin?
Just to buy time.
Well, why don't I do something expensive for other people's? And that's what brings up the question again. Have we ever or talked to any of these moose people or anybody else in the city? I imagine they're not that happy about this.
No. Based off of the intel that she provided, it seems like in their party before, from their reports, the moose people were happy. They had a puck that they fought over every day. Very simple. They had a rowdy party, and they would just beat the crap out of each other, and whoever had the puck was basically their god. And so they use rocks now because the Penguin King has their puck.
And the Walrus people, I assume, happy just building for the Empire?
They're more at fear, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say they were less happy.
Well, maybe we can rally them.
Well,
But they didn't seem good in combat.
that sounds like we need to do an operation here. If we're able to sneak in and grab that puck and let those Walrus people know there's hope on the horizon, fights from the inside are harder to put out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Like, if we can get in because they think we're on their side with the orca thing, and if that's a problem anyway, it could be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That could gain us access into the city.
Or if we do the water route and actually drill through this after a few days, we sneak in there, make sure we get these all taken care of and leave, and they think we have something else going to the south. Could be a clandestine operation.
I'll leave it to you. Whatever decisions you three make, that will be the final decision. We've discussed it long enough over these past 2 days.
I will ask one more thing. Are we planning on using the wreckage for the trains at all as giant, just powered battering rams? Because these are ways to get our men close enough if there's enough scrap here to build armor with it. Shoot them towards the front, hit a wall, very big. Especially put sleds on them, I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, they destroyed the mechanisms and stuff to maneuver them. So, unlike the penguin people, these people don't have access to like large cranes or like they'd have to bring all those out from like the rear, which would be like the Sword Coast.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have wreckage here. Doesn't need to be fancy. We just make a sled that's fast enough and has enough fire and oil on it, explodes in the wall. That's a weapon.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever you guys think is best. I'll leave it up to you. So you three decide what your plan of attack is. I'll give you guys the next.
Power in these hands.
I will. We will reconvene tomorrow after you guys have discussed, and that is where you guys are kind of ushered out to make your own decision as to how you guys want to operate on this attack.
Well,
I need a drink.
Points to them again. They're giving a lot of trust to people they don't even know.
yeah, I've been here a few days.
Feels like I've been setting up, but at the same time, it feels cozy. I'll take it.
Well, the main reason is because you guys are going to be the ones who conduct whatever plan. You're basically
Yeah.
you're the one. So you're the scapegoats they're going to use to, if this plan goes awry, they'll just replace you with other bodies and try their main tactics.
Now, counter argument though, if it goes well, it was never our operation to begin with, was it?
So, announcing that you would like a drink, you head into. You guys are in the Dwarfish camp. You head over to basically where the food area is. You have the halfling, and as he sort of pours you guys each a mug of hearty mead to elaborate on your plan.
So I like your idea about having people drilling under. Because how many times do you think they look down? How many times do you think they look down and go, what's under there?
I've never met a penguin outside of here, so I couldn't even say. I don't even know if they look up or down or sideways.
I mean, I don't think people are going to be under my house all the time, so why would they think that there's going to be someone under their house all the time?
Well, that's the magic of it. If we don't know the layout of the inside, we'll be popping up anywhere. Someone's house, someone's privy, or even the that master penguin himself, the emperor. So there lies some of the fun.
But if we did that, because it's going to take a while. So while that's going on, we could do the orca thing, because if they're also bad people, prone to violence, either we could make them like us, and then they also fight, and then we have really strong fighters.
Then they might be able to get up through the bottom.
Depending or at least a distraction. If they also don't like what's going on, and then we go in.
Well, because there's a hole in the ice anyway where the water was. Because that was one of the things with the whole rave.
You, on the horizon, you do see one of the polar bear people who seems to be more knowledgeable about this of that region of the second island.
We're just hanging out. We're having a good time.
Salem, leave him alone.
He's allergic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He makes me sick.
Check on me. Oh, thank you. So sweet.
So
A menace.
the polar bear tribal person basically like walks up to you guys and goes, so I don't know if you know this, but penguins use ice tunnels to travel down to hunt for prey and for food. So there's already going to be naturally created ice circles, but that you wouldn't need to drill. The problem with why that doesn't always work is that it's also heavily fortified. I couldn't obviously announce that in that meeting, completely, disarm the group there, but they do have a bunch of penguin forces that actually hang out and guard that area. They have whale folk, not killer whale folk, but like blue whales that guard the underbelly.
Well,
So they-
why do they have them? What's their relationship?
They're also enslaved and protectors. They're basically guard dogs of the underbelly of the because that is like a natural weakness.
How's this penguin get so strong?
Numbers. He literally just continues to throw numbers at something until they give up, which is what he's going to do to you.
Never.
How did these penguins, like, reproduce? Just sounds like a really weird
Egg.
question. Is there a hatchery?
I don't think we should kill children. That's where we're going.
Children either.
I mean, no.
The emperor penguin, birds all of the children.
He's killing all his kids. I hate him.
He is the sole producer of all of the penguins. So they feel it is their right as both their god and their leader.
I didn't mean that to sound as dark as it was.
You're welcome.
Hey, just making sure. But, I mean, that said, when you look through your bird's eyes, can you speak at all, or is this only just a relationship of looking through and using their abilities?
Nah, just looking through.
So what we need to do is get a message out here to the moose people. Think it's as simple as saying, he lost your puck. Next one he gets, it's their god. Cause enough riots and mayhem. Easy. And the only proof they'd have is...
misinformation.
Yes, but we need to make sure they believe us. A reliable source? Will it be the Emperor himself? They can play illusion games, so can we. If he has so many lookalikes, it's not going to be hard to create it. And if he comes out to say, no, there's something wrong here, that's going to start questioning and putting a great schism between all their people, isn't it?
The lookalike was of his general, not of the emperor.
Then it's even easier with the Emperor.
I was just explaining that to you.
Yeah, well, I agree. Then we'll make it the Emperor.
Okay.
Oh, dang. That would have been, that's silent image. I guess the silent is the
Is the
key
key
part of
component
that.
there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the image, all we need someone to be able to throw voice, or at least do good enough imitation near it. Even if you don't know what he sounds like, how many people actually heard of the guy speak? He sounds like a recluse to me.
I don't remember what he sounds like.
Yeah. You wouldn't remember with your history roll from earlier?
So,
I mean, I think probably the first thing we need to do is get information.
yeah,
'Cause, I mean, we're new here. We don't know what's going on. You've been to the Ice City. Did it take
briefly.
tourists?
I don't think that, I think he would recognize me. So I don't think I would be able to go back in.
How'd you get in the first place?
We walked up and then we partied with the moose people. And then somehow that led to us getting in.
So the news people live outside the walls.
Big guard.
Shazon's character from Issa from the previous season was looking to barter to make a deal with the Emperor. And that's what the conversation, with the moose people, and then he found out that the leader was Emperor Penguin.
And then the deal was we had to get rid of
The polar bears or the
orcas.
Orca people. And then, but when you didn't do it, and then you let some of his slaves go,
Oh, because that one moose went back.
and the CDC people that you guys freed before you had to leave the city. And we're
what?
told you could never leave. The other three people, Thorkey and his companions, you guys released them all.
That was stupid. I got outvoted on that one.
Oh,
It is a voting system here, so that's why it's 3 players.
yeah.
So, what is your guys' plan?
Thinking's hard.
I mean, well,
Maybe check out Orca stuff.
yeah. I think we just need more information before we
Yeah.
can really do anything. There's a lot of ifs.
Is
There's many ifs.
the Emperor a gambling man?
I didn't talk to him long enough. I know he has an owlbear cub that he abused, which I still remember that.
Because I'm thinking, yeah, alarm bells are going off here. A lot of things are wrong.
It's the woo-woo wagon.
Because honestly, I think it almost may be as simple as this, too. We just need to make sure if this man's looking so much for prestige and power, we just put everything on the line, but in the form of a game where no blood needs to be spilled outside of the field. Those guys are throwing around the puck before. That's our bet. Put the puck down, whoever wins, he gets to go over here, stomp over everyone else. We, get rid of all our defenses. He gets all the trade power. We win. He surrenders. Simple game, blood sports. The puck decides it. I think he'll accept my offer. He's never met me. I have nothing to lose but my life.
I don't want you to die.
I'll come back. I've died before.
What?
Dying's easy. Waking up's the hard part.
All
I'm
right.
gonna circle back to that later, but
All I'm saying is, if we go over there and give a challenge, I think it'd be simple. And if he's worth his salt in anything, great. And if he turns us back, worst thing we get is a no.
how do we get in there to issue the challenge though without
Well,
just
you don't come. Just me and her. We're new here.
oh, true.
And everybody who tried to talk to us
Wait,
died.
Or I have well, how long does that last? That's what I was looking.
And being a brutal man, I feel like there's still an appreciation. Even if we cut down half his men, he'd still be like, yeah, at least good fighters. We could be headhunting. We could try to pretend like we're interested too. There's a lot of ways we can go about this to get more information. Just looks like we need to take another visit to the city. Unless you have a disguise you can wear.
So,
Invisibility, but it only lasts for an hour, so I don't think that'd help.
based off the reports that her team would have given, the indication is that he only wants to take in people as slaves. He is not going. So the only deals he strucks is like you would then work for him as his slaves. You would have no rights.
Yuck.
You would just
He's a bad dude.
you would just be property.
Very punchable face.
You might be able to stay in the city if he likes you enough, or thinks you're funny enough, or likes abusing you enough. But besides that, you're basically just a number to him. You would be nothing more.
I still think either Orcas are dealing with his generals, because if he has no one to command the armies, that's disorganization and chaos. It's many syllable words I'm using today.
Yeah. Does anybody know anything about the generals? We already talked about that.
Yep. So you know there's 4 generals.
Just that there's 4.
Yep.
Are they also slaves?
Technically.
Yeah,
Well-
they technically would be.
Also his sons probably, or daughters. I'm not gonna generalize.
I don't know if there's a bunch of them too. Then I don't know how easily replaceable those guys are.
Yeah. Information I think is most important out of character. Just figuring out what the heck is going on.
All right.
Because we're new to this whole situation.
Yeah, we weren't in there very long, and most of it was a party.
Yep. So, as you guys sort of think about what your plans are going to be, we will release that to the audience in next week's episode. See you guys next time.